What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other day, Sledgehammer put out a little update. It's not a massive one, I'll be honest. It wasn't a huge update, but it was a decent enough update where they did a few changes to some of the weapons. So I went ahead, I spent the whole day the other day trying out the weapons, giving them a shot, seeing what adjustments they actually made, if they were good adjustments, if they're bad adjustments. And today I'm going to go ahead and try to cover absolutely everything in this video. So, of course, if you are interested in more stuff like this and you do enjoy what you hear today, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here. And sometimes we do have double uploads on this channel. So if you want to be notified on all that stuff, like I said, hit the bell. And last but not least, we do go ahead and live stream pretty much daily over on Kick. So if you want to see me go ahead and try this stuff out live and in action and even squad up with us, since we always do open lobbies, you can find a link to my Kick channel down in the description of this video. And that usually goes live around 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and start off with the Striker 9 here. Now, it's only two weapons I'm really going to be going ahead and discussing. They did touch upon some other weapons and some other bugs, including, the Assassin's Vest getting buffed again to receive its frag grenades. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that correctly. So the Assassin's Vest, when we all thought it was actually a nerf being done to it, where they were removing your lethals, was in fact a bug. And they went ahead and added the lethals back, so the Assassin's Vest is, of course, in its original overpowered state, with basically absolutely zero cons, besides not having field upgrades. But honestly, who the hell gives a crap about that in a pub match? When you're playing a competitive match, maybe, but honestly, I don't mind not having my field upgrades. As long as I can have all my perks, I can have all my lethals and tacticals, I can have all my attachments and weapons, I'm good, and I stay off the radar 24/7. I don't understand why they're doing this, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. But the biggest part of this update right here was the weapon tunings. They did a couple of weapon tunings, one for the Striker and the other one for the TAC LMG. And again, the Striker, as you can see right here, got an increased enemy nameplate reveal distance, decreased hipfire spread while firing, decreased recoil gun kick, increased horizontal recoil, increased vertical recoil, added the ability to aim down sights while sliding, increased bullet velocity, increased maximum damage, increased near medium damage, decreased minimum damage, increased maximum damage, decreased medium damage, and decreased near medium damage. And all of them by a decent percentage. I mean, maybe the increased bullet velocity, increased maximum damage, and increased near medium damage on the low end. And yeah, there are some other ones that are on the low end, but the mass majority of them are like 20, 30+% changes, whether they're positive or negative. The Striker 9, I don't know why they went ahead and wanted to adjust this again. I thought the Striker 9 was in a pretty comfortable spot, but I think they wanted to add more kick to this weapon, and that's basically exactly what it did. Instead of being a gun that is a little bit weaker with literally zero recoil, basically, it has a bit more kick to it. And I'm going to go ahead and showcase to you guys my class setup that you can see right here. I have it mostly decked out for horizontal recoil. And this is my same setup. I didn't change anything, and I don't plan on changing anything because the Striker 9 didn't really feel like it got killed in any way, shape, or form. It's weird. It might look like a nerf on paper, but in reality, it kind of was a buff. Again, yeah, they added some recoil to this weapon, but at the same time, they pretty much increased the longer range damage, medium to long range damage on this weapon, including the bullet velocity as well. Near damage got a little bit of a nerf, but it still drills up close and personal. And at long range, it's even better than it was before, at the cost of a little extra recoil. But before, the gun didn't have any recoil, and after this update, it still doesn't have any recoil. So I am actually extremely happy with this update here. And again, at the very bottom of those notes, they said the recoil pattern of the Striker 9 has been significantly adjusted, resulting in increased control while firing. I don't really understand exactly what they meant by that, but it doesn't feel like it has more control. It feels like it has less control. You're going to have to be handling it a bit better. You're going to have to definitely, manage your recoil a bit better. And also, you're going to have to deck out your gun in ways to manage the recoil as well. But when you do find those right attachments, yeah, this gun, it just keeps getting better and better and better. And it was already in the rotation as it was before, but in its current spot, it's 1010% in the rotation now. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is the TAC Evolver, or Evolver, however you want to go ahead and pronounce it. But this LMG, in my personal opinion, was extremely dominant, and I'm very happy with what they did here, because technically, you can consider this a nerf, but it's a nerf in a good way. It makes the gun more dominant, but again, not in a meta fashion, but in its own playstyle. Basically, the TAC beforehand was just a demon machine. It might have had a 5.56 ammunition, on the side that you could use. But in all reality, the fire rate was already so fast on the base 7.62 ammunition that it was not needed. It hits hard, it shoots fast, and it honestly doesn't have that bad of recoil. And it was kind of overpowering the rest of the LMG category. But what they did here is try to tone it back to make it more of a traditional LMG. As you can see right here, increased movement speed, decreased rate of fire. This is a big one, from 706 to 500. That's the big boy right there. Increased maximum damage range, increased medium damage range, increased head damage multiplier, increased neck, upper torso, upper arm, and lower arm damage multipliers, increased target flinch as well. And then the 5.56 belt, increased movement speed, added 40% hip fire spread, increased aim down sight benefits, increased aim down sight movement, added rate of fire benefit, and decreased maximum damage range, decreased medium damage range, so on and so forth, increased head, neck, all that good stuff. But this is exactly what should have been done, and it's a great nerf right here. And again, you can consider this a buff as well. Basically, the fire rate has been dropped down drastically. It's supposed to be a slow shooting gun with high power, and that's what they did. They increased the damage ranges and the damage in general pretty dramatically for this weapon, and it feels extremely solid when it's in your hands. Again, slower fire rate, but every shot counts. And I noticed that my playstyle changed with this weapon, because before I used to run and gun, I used to be aggressive, I used to challenge every single corner up close and personal with this LMG. Now, I'm tending to take more medium to long range engagements instead of trying to ram myself right up in people's faces. I used to take advantage of that extremely fast fire rate on this gun. Now, not so much. The fire rate has been decreased dramatically. So being up close and personal with this thing is like a death wish, because, by the time that you get 2 shots out of this thing, any SMG out there will probably have 10 to 15 bullets out of their gun. So, it's a waste of your time. So it definitely changes your playstyle, but I enjoy that playstyle. When I use an LMG, I like holding lanes. I like locking down locations. I like being that nuisance, holding down that whole spot that nobody can get by because, it's just an LMG mowing down those areas. That's what I like out of the LMGs. Big mags, packs a punch. And again, if you want to deck them out otherwise, go ahead and do so to make them more fast-paced. But the base version of them should be like an LMG. And that's what they did here. The base version now actually feels like an LMG. And instead of the gun already feeling like it's an AR, you can convert it to basically an AR by changing it to 5.56, which once again is a huge change in the right direction for the TAC Evolver. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and showcase my class setup for you guys. I always opt into telling everyone to make your own class, make what you enjoy personally. You're not going to enjoy what everybody else enjoys. But, people still ask, people still want it, even though I say that. So I just give you guys my class setup just as a foundation, I guess. You can start it as, a start-off class and work on it from there, tweak things here and there until you find something that fits you most comfortably. But I still think that this gun is good for being aggro. Just not as aggro as you could before with the fast fire rate where you can literally building breach every single 5 seconds. But compared to the rest of the other LMGs, yeah, you can be a bit more aggro with this thing. So I decked it out accordingly compared to the other ones where I kind of decked them out as more long range, more passive, more angle based. So, do with it as you please. But at the end of the day, overall, when it comes to this update, I'm very happy with it. And I'm going to say it again, like I said it before. I really do believe that the Sledgehammer developers play their game, and it's phenomenal because the only way you can successfully patch weapons and, make them viable and make them make sense is if you use them and you know what to do to them. I see so many other games out there where the developers have no freaking clue what they are doing, and every single nerf, every single buff is irrelevant to the weapon that they're touching upon. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't switch up the meta. It doesn't balance anything out. It continues with the chaos. But every single weapon update from the very first one in Modern Warfare 3 was phenomenal. I have to give them credit for that. We can complain as much as we want about whatever you want, but when it comes to them doing good things for this game, this is the support that we need every year around, every single time we get a new COD game. Because what happens if we do get a good COD game and we don't get this type of support? It's going to get ruined. This is the guaranteed support that we need every single time around. We need developers to listen to, core feedback, to understand what players want changed within the game, and to actually make meaningful buffs and meaningful nerfs. Things that are actually logical, things that improve the experience, and not just, for the sake of trying to ruin a weapon or just trying to mindlessly change something around within the game. No, you could tell that the developers have used the weapons, they know how they feel, and they know exactly what needs to be done to shake things up and make it either more balanced or to try to pull it back and allow other weapons to breathe as well. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget, if you want to help me out, leave it a like. It does tremendous things for the algorithm. Or even if you hate it, leave a dislike. You know what I'm saying? Interaction is interaction, and I appreciate all the support. Also, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, we do indeed post here daily at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And as I said earlier, on the rare occasion, we do double upload. So, as always, hit that bell notification button. Make sure they're on at all times. So every single time a video goes live, you will be notified right away. And last but not least, we do go ahead and stream daily besides Sundays over on Kick. So if you guys are interested in that stream usually goes live around 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern time, and I have a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.